Sometimes the most beautiful lessons can be learned from the most unlikely places. In the Torah portion of this week, Nasso, there's a law that deals with stealing. If you've stolen property from another person, been caught, and want to make amends, so you have to return what you've stolen, adding a fifth of its value, and return it to its rightful owner. But the Torah says, what about the following scenario? What if you've stolen from a person? You now want to make amends and return it, but the person who you stole from is dead, and they've left no heir, no inheritor, no family that you could return the money to. What do you do now? Answers the Torah. The solution is to give the money to a priest, to a Kohen who serves in the temple. And then it will be considered as if you've returned it to its rightful owner. Now the Talmud questions this law and says, how is it really possible for there to be a person who dies without any relative in the world? Is there anyone, particularly in the Jewish community, who has no family, no relative? A cousin, second cousin, great aunt, third cousin, twice removed. Somebody somewhere must be related to them. Particularly when we're talking about inheritance, surely you can find a relative there. The Talmud answers that this section of the Torah must be referring specifically to a person who indeed has no relatives, to a convert. Somebody who converted to Judaism, who left their biological family and joined the Jewish family, but was yet to have children of their own. That person, a convert to Judaism in such a circumstance, indeed has no relative. So if you stole from that person and they died, there's no one to give it back to, so you have to give it back to a priest. Now, this law seems pretty rare and a bit obscure. How likely is it for somebody to have stolen from someone, want to return it, and it happens to be that the person they stole from was a convert to Judaism who had no family, who died? How likely is this to ever happen? So what possible message is there behind this law? Here we find there's actually a very deep and profound message, a beautiful message behind the law of the stolen property from the convert. What the Torah here is saying is that here's a scenario where from your perspective, you've made a big error, a big blunder, a big mistake, and there's no way to solve it. You have stolen from someone and you can't give it back. They're dead. There's no family. You have made a mistake that cannot be corrected. There's no way out. From your perspective, you can't fix it. Comes along God and says, I will show you a way to fix this. That you've stolen from somebody who has no family, well, I am their family. And I give the rights to that money to the priests who serve in my temple. What this law is teaching us is a very profound message. Sometimes you have done things wrong, you've dug a hole for yourself, and you see no way out. Maybe from your perspective, things are hopeless, but God sees it otherwise. God will give a solution to every problem. God will give a way out to every dead end. And no matter how bad you've been, no matter how bad your mistakes are, no matter how much you've done wrong, God will always work a way to get you out of it. Because even where we human beings can see no solution, God can see a solution. And He'll give us that solution so we can always get back on our feet.